Our final speaker in this first round is Chris Hupp. Chris is a lower school teacher at ACS Cobham, and those of you who've been to these events before may recognize Chris because this is in fact Chris's fourth SIM project. He's certainly the leader in terms of numbers of SIM projects conducted by any person. Chris is going to talk today about the work he's been doing over this past year, which has looked at leadership for whole school approaches to learning for sustainability.
Thank you. Well, it's hard to believe I'm up here again, presenting to you the work I've participated in. I couldn't thank SIM more for their phenomenal support, for Ben for his constant mentorship and guidance, and Latifah for all the crucial work behind the scenes. I'd also like to thank Tony and Lacey for their ongoing championing of this work and sustainability that I've been involved in, and also my amazing third grade team, who have always been model teachers and colleagues and have inspired and supported me to become a better educator. These past few years have been a bit of a blur, though I can certainly say that each project has left its mark on my professional practice and personal growth. If I could think of any unifying theme for all of these projects, it is that of interconnectedness, our absolute tangled upness with the systems that support life, and the importance that relationships have within this web of life. This is what inspired me to a great extent, even before SIM started, to help ACS build a vegetable garden. It was through that process that I discovered the complexity of working within a large organization and how difficult and challenging it can be to bring about even a small change. So my first project with SIM grew directly out of this experience with the garden, and the focus became, how do we build relationships among key decision makers in order to manage outdoor resources and facilitate their use? This led to the development of the Outdoor Resources Advisory Committee. And this work, although it was quite limited in scope, helped me to get my first bit of understanding of how the system dynamics work in our organization. So the next project led me to asking the question about making learning outside the classroom more accessible to teachers. How can I develop resources for teachers in ways that facilitate and engage students outdoors? This saw the development of trail maps, risk assessments, teaching ideas, which it was hoped would remove some of the barriers to getting students outside for learning. And I realized at the time that much more work was needed to get this embedded into our curriculum, and that I needed to put this transformative approach to learning into practice within my own sphere of influence. The following year, as a result, I managed to convince my third grade team to take on a new SIM project, where we asked the question, how can we collaboratively engage with teachers and students in developing an interdisciplinary unit of instruction? The idea here was to develop a new social studies unit in a collaborative way, in order to explore interdisciplinary approaches, incorporate issues linking to sustainability, and engage learners more with their environment. Then my master's research project the following year, again supported by SIM, helped me to deepen my own understanding of how to develop approaches to classroom teaching that cut across disciplines, empower students to lead their own learning, and ultimately involve students with the great work of our time, which is addressing the wicked problems that we face. One child said to me very recently, so why do we need to worry about all of these pollution problems? That's why we have smart people. So this embodied the kind of questions that I was asking. How do we explain to these children that they are the smart people who are going to have to solve our wicked problems? How can we engage in transformative learning across our school in order to prepare students for such a complex and complicated future? How do we begin to inspire ourselves and our students to truly make a difference in this world? What does the truly global citizen look like? And how do we develop dispositions and habits of mind the global community now needs? How can we participate more fully in the transition toward a more sustainable human presence on this earth? So this has all been a very roundabout way to get to the research question for the SIM project I've undertaken this year, which is how does involvement in an externally facilitated multi-school learning community advance our aspiration as a school to make a difference by learning about and engaging in whole school approaches to learning for sustainability. So we commissioned a literature review to help summarize the growing body of sustainability in education papers and research. And we discovered that sustainability itself is a pretty difficult word, if not to say loaded. We often bring an incomplete understanding of its meaning and usually think of it simply as greening initiatives, replacing light bulbs, or recycling programs. In a broader sense, however, sustainability connects to all aspects of our lives. This is where systems thinking comes in handy, and sustainability refers to a complex of interconnected domains: social, economic, political, and ecological. The literature review discussed the paradigm shift necessary in education toward transformative and critical pedagogies, which requires a real engagement with higher level change, the kind that re-examines values and worldviews. It investigated the need for transdisciplinary learning with a vertically integrated continuum of learning for sustainability. Schools should also consider professional development for teachers and leaders that engages the school with systems thinking and going much deeper with skills and knowledge sets related to sustainability. The third recommendation admonishes schools to make a deep commitment to holistic school development, management, and procurement decision-making. So the first purpose in carrying out this project was to develop an organization-wide policy that addresses sustainability and learning for sustainability. We felt that operationalizing, the school's commitments to environmental stewardship and global citizenship articulated in our shared vision, values, philosophy, and expected school-wide learning results was absolutely central to our success. In other words, we needed a plan, we needed a baseline policy that would guide us. We then shared these with participants in our first workshop in September, a group formed of sustainability leaders from Cobham and Egham campuses. During the 5-hour workshop, our participants recorded these ideas under each section and worked collaboratively to develop a set of draft guidelines for ACS based upon summaries of policies created by many other schools around the globe. This first set of draft guidelines went to the heads of school and then to the greater ACS community for consultation, eventually becoming a fairly polished guideline policy which has framed our ongoing work. In January, we held a second workshop to build off our work with these guidelines. The aim of this was to analyze current practice at ACS and work through the problem in objective tree protocols, which would allow us to set out goals and learner outcomes for sustainability at ACS. The group developed 6 goals, which centered around the need for school leaders to empower students and teachers to engage in meaningful change in our organization. This workshop afforded us our first data collection opportunity. We surveyed our participants, all of whom are passionate about sustainability or who work with sustainability in some capacity within their own role: teachers, facilities managers, administrators, or even catering. This leadership survey gave us a baseline for understanding the skills, knowledge, and dispositions of those we hope will continue to champion sustainability at our school. Interestingly, many of our participants brought very few skills or experience related to sustainability, but were driven by passion for and personal interest in creating a sustainable future. Nearly all of our participants demonstrated a sense of urgency in addressing sustainability issues at our school. So the second aim of the project was to enhance school leaders' sustainability-related knowledge, understanding, skills, and dispositions so that they might become confident and motivated to work collaboratively to manage and model sustainability practices. To this end, we looked to our external partner, Sustainability and Environmental Education, or SEED, to consider ways we might build capacity amongst our sustainability leaders and envision how we eventually might extend this out to the entire ACS community. In this Future Citizens workshop, we explored the very powerful ways in which our organization could reinvent itself, from the taught curriculum to developing grounds for biodiversity, science instruction, or creative and innovative sources of energy, food growing, and water harvesting. Now, the buzz from the group demonstrated again a sense of passion, excitement, and readiness for moving ACS forward towards sustainability practices that would truly prepare our students for a complex future, giving them tools that create hope and opportunity as healthy and happy global citizens. We were fortunate enough to have with us at the workshop a number of individuals from other schools. These participants brought another much-needed perspective and were a reminder of the importance of seeing sustainability as a community practice. The third project of the goal then was to establish school partnerships with like-minded schools in our area in order to strengthen our own sustainability practices through creative external collaboration. We've only just begun to build these relationships, and it is my sincere hope in the future that ACS will engage more partner schools as part of a sustainability network. So it is difficult to share significant key insights at this stage, as there's still much to do. Our latest data collection method, consisting of interviews of a number of our sustainability leaders, demonstrates anecdotally that we have indeed begun in small ways to build our awareness and knowledge around these issues. There's certainly a growing consensus around the urgency of addressing these and empowering students and teachers to participate in school-wide change. Of course, building capacity amongst sustainability leaders and across the community so that this can happen is a significant undertaking, and of course, is very much a work in progress. We have realized perhaps that the work ahead requires more of a concerted effort locally within our own campuses and an unwavering commitment from school leadership. After all, sustainability is much more about who we are and what we value than a box we can tick off. It is about service to our local and global community, adapting to a future we anticipate will be full of challenges, and ultimately about developing the kind of caring global citizens that can make a real difference in the world. It was this growing realization that has led us to join forces next year with two projects that have been working along parallel yet interrelated lines: service learning and global languages. It is our hope that by bringing our group of passionate teacher leaders together around a shared aim of creating caring contributors, that we will be able to embed these domains of service learning, global citizenship, and sustainability into the life of our school. We hope that you will join us in this global work of service toward a sustainable future, which by all accounts is becoming increasingly and urgently inevitable. Thank you.